Welcome back to Cat Coin Dealer. What if the next quarter you pull from your pocket isn't worth just 25 cents, but hundreds, thousands, or even a life-changing amount of money? It sounds unbelievable, but it's happening more often than most people realize. Hidden among ordinary pocket change are a few extraordinary Washington quarter-dollar coins that collectors are willing to pay incredible prices for. The scary part? Most people spend them without ever taking a second look. Today, we're counting down the top 4 most valuable quarter-dollar coins that could be hiding in your wallet, coin jar, or even your car's cup holder. These aren't ancient treasures locked inside museums. They're modern quarters from 1987, 2001, 2006, and 2015 that many Americans have handled without knowing their true potential. Some rare era varieties and high-grade examples have sold for the hundreds, thousands, and in exceptional cases, tens of thousands of dollars at major auctions. But here's the twist that almost nobody talks about. The most valuable coins don't always look old, dirty, or unusual. Sometimes the rarest quarter looks completely normal until an expert notices a tiny mint error, an unusual strike, or an almost perfect condition. That's why collectors search through thousands of coins every single day, hoping to discover one hidden jackpot. Stay with us until the very end, because Coin Dealer has saved the most surprising quarter for last. One tiny detail could separate an ordinary 25-cent coin from one worth thousands of dollars, and missing that detail could be the biggest mistake a collector ever makes. We'll reveal the estimated values, what makes each coin special, and the exact features you should look for before you spend another quarter. The countdown starts now with the Hotchi 1987 quarter, followed by the Koshi 2001 quarter, then the Chop 2006 quarter, and finally the incredible 2015 quarter that has stunned collectors with its astonishing value. Before you use any of these coins, make sure you know exactly what you're holding, because your next quarter could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Have you ever reached into your pocket, found an ordinary-looking quarter, and wondered if it could secretly be worth far more than 25 cents? Most people spend these coins every single day without giving them a second glance. Yet hidden among millions of common pieces are a handful of extraordinary examples that have stunned collectors at auctions. The fascinating part is that true value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it comes from an unexpected minting error, an exceptional state of preservation, or a rare combination of features that only experienced collectors recognize. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most overlooked coins in American pocket change. Before you spend another quarter, stay with me until the very end, because the details you're about to discover could completely change the way you look at every coin that passes through your hands. Welcome back to Coin Dealer, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to an incredible discovery. 1987 Washington Quarter Dollar. At first glance, the 1987 Washington Quarter looks almost identical to countless other quarters produced during the 1980s. George Washington's familiar portrait appears on the front, while the majestic eagle stands proudly on the reverse. Millions of Americans carried these coins in their pockets, dropped them into vending machines, and spent them without hesitation. Because they were so common in everyday circulation, very few people imagined that decades later, collectors would begin searching for exceptional examples with surprising enthusiasm. The 1987 Washington Quarter was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, while San Francisco produced proof versions specifically for collectors. Although hundreds of millions of circulation strikes were minted, the vast majority entered daily commerce almost immediately. Years of use left many of them scratched, worn, or damaged, making truly high-grade survivors much more difficult to find today than many people expect. One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding this coin is that every 1987 quarter is valuable. In reality, most circulated examples are worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, collectors know that condition can completely transform a coin's desirability. A quarter that escaped circulation and retained its original mint luster, sharp details, and nearly flawless surfaces can command a significant premium compared to an ordinary example. Professional grading plays a major role in determining value. Coins certified in mint state grades, especially MS-67 and above, become increasingly scarce because even tiny contact marks received during production or transportation can lower a coin's grade. Finding a 1987 quarter with brilliant surfaces, crisp design details, and minimal imperfections is far more challenging than many new collectors realize. Another reason collectors carefully inspect 1987 quarters is the possibility of mint errors. Although genuine mint errors are relatively uncommon, they attract considerable attention whenever they appear. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, struck-through errors, and dramatic die breaks are among the varieties that specialists actively seek. Each error tells a unique story about what happened during the minting process, turning an ordinary quarter into a fascinating collectible. Die cracks deserve special attention because they develop when a coin die begins to fracture after repeated use. As metal flows into these tiny cracks during striking, raised lines appear on the finished coin. While minor die cracks are relatively common and usually add little value, large or visually dramatic examples often generate greater interest among collectors. Off-center strikes are another exciting possibility. These occur when the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned inside the coining press before being struck. Depending on how much of the design remains visible, an authentic off-center error can become highly collectible. Collectors especially appreciate examples where the date remains readable, while a substantial portion of the design is missing due to the misalignment. Clipped planchet errors are also fascinating. Before coins are struck, blank discs are punched from large sheets of metal. Occasionally, the cutting process overlaps, leaving part of the blank missing before it reaches the press. The resulting coin displays a distinctive curved section absent from its edge, making it immediately recognizable to experienced collectors. Proof versions of the 1987 quarter present another area of interest. Produced at the San Francisco Mint using specially prepared dies and polished planchets, proof coins feature mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. These coins were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in official proof sets. High-quality proof examples remain popular because of their impressive eye appeal and careful manufacturing. When evaluating any 1987 quarter, collectors pay close attention to several important details. First, examine the date and mint mark carefully under good lighting. Next, inspect the surfaces for original mint luster, rather than signs of polishing or cleaning. Artificial cleaning often leaves fine scratches or unnatural brightness that can reduce a coin's desirability. Finally, look for unusual features that may indicate a legitimate mint error instead of post-mint damage. Storage is equally important. Even an outstanding coin can lose value if handled carelessly. Experienced collectors recommend holding coins only by their edges, avoiding direct contact with the surfaces. Fingerprints contain oils that may gradually affect a coin's appearance over time. Protective holders or archival quality flips provide a safer environment for long-term preservation. One exciting aspect of coin collecting is that remarkable discoveries still happen today. Families occasionally uncover forgotten coin collections stored in old boxes, desk drawers, or inherited estates. Among these collections, beautifully preserved quarters sometimes emerge after decades of careful storage, surprising both owners and collectors alike. While such discoveries are uncommon, they remind us why enthusiasts continue examining coins with patience and curiosity. Auction results demonstrate just how much condition influences value. Ordinary circulated 1987 quarters generally remain worth face value, while attractive uncirculated examples may sell for modest collector premiums. The finest professionally graded examples, especially those recognized for exceptional preservation, have sold for substantially higher prices than everyday circulation pieces. Similarly, authenticated major mint errors can command impressive premiums because of their rarity and collector demand. Exact values depend on factors including grade, eye appeal, rarity, certification, and current market conditions, so no single price applies to every 1987 quarter. If you believe you found an unusual example, avoid cleaning or altering it. Even gentle polishing can permanently reduce a coin's collectible value. Instead, compare it with reliable reference materials and consider having potentially valuable pieces authenticated by a respected third-party grading service. Professional certification provides confidence for both collectors and potential buyers while documenting the coin's authenticity and condition. The 1987 Washington Quarter reminds us that collecting isn't always about finding the oldest coin or the rarest date. Sometimes the greatest excitement comes from learning to recognize quality, understanding the minting process, and appreciating the small details that distinguish an ordinary coin from an extraordinary collectible. Every quarter has traveled through history in its own way, passing from one hand to another while quietly carrying its story across generations. The next time you receive change from a store, don't rush to spend every quarter without taking a closer look. A few moments of careful observation could reveal something unexpectedly interesting: a remarkably preserved coin, a genuine mint error, or simply a beautiful example that has survived decades with exceptional quality. That's the excitement that keeps collectors searching year after year. Every coin deserves a second look, because hidden among everyday pocket change are discoveries waiting for someone curious enough to notice them. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep checking your change with Coin Dealer, because your next great discovery might already be sitting in your pocket. There are ordinary coins, and then there are coins that quietly hide extraordinary stories in plain sight. Every single day, millions of people receive change without giving it a second glance, never realizing that one small detail could transform an everyday quarter into a collector's prize. Most 2001 quarters are worth exactly 25 cents, but a handful stand out because of exceptional condition, striking errors, or remarkable preservation. Today, we're taking a closer look at one fascinating coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors across the country. Before you spend another quarter, you might want to examine the date, the mint mark, and every tiny detail because sometimes the greatest discoveries begin with the smallest pieces of metal. Welcome back to Coin Dealer, where every coin has a story, and today's story belongs to a quarter that many people have carried in their pockets without ever realizing its true collecting potential. 2001 Washington Quarter Dollar. The 2001 Washington Quarter is part of the famous 50-state quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs ever introduced by the United States Mint. Released during the second full year of the series, these quarters celebrated 4 different states throughout 2001: New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Millions of Americans eagerly searched through their pocket change to complete maps and albums, making these coins an important part of modern collecting history. Although hundreds of millions of 2001 quarters were produced, not every coin is created equal. Certain examples have become highly desirable because of their condition, striking quality, or unusual mint errors that make them stand apart from ordinary circulation finds. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse changes depending on the featured state. Every design tells a unique story about American history, geography, and culture. These artistic details transformed an everyday circulating coin into something millions of people wanted to save, introducing an entirely new generation to coin collecting. Collectors usually begin by checking the mint mark. A P indicates the Philadelphia Mint, while a D represents the Denver Mint. Proof versions, produced at the San Francisco Mint, carry the S mint mark and were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planchets. Proof quarters often display brilliant, mirror-like fields and frosted design elements, making them immediately recognizable when compared to regular circulation strikes. Condition plays an enormous role in determining value. A quarter that has spent years in circulation may show scratches, worn details, rim damage, or discoloration. Those examples generally remain worth face value unless they feature a significant mint error. On the other hand, coins preserved in mint state condition with sharp details, strong luster, and virtually no wear can attract serious interest from collectors. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using the Sheldon grading scale, where grades such as MS-67, MS-68, or even higher can dramatically increase market value because so few coins survive in exceptional condition. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting the 2001 Washington Quarter involves searching for mint errors. While the majority left the mint exactly as intended, a small number display fascinating production mistakes. Off-center strikes occur when the planchet is not properly aligned during striking, leaving part of the design missing while exposing a blank crescent. Double strikes can create overlapping images that immediately catch a collector's eye. Die cracks, retained cud errors, clipped planches, broad strikes, and other striking abnormalities also generate significant interest, depending on their severity and overall eye appeal. Another category that collectors watch closely includes doubled die varieties. These occur during the die manufacturing process and may produce visible doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. True doubled dies are different from ordinary machine doubling and are carefully studied by specialists before being attributed. A confirmed double die variety can make an otherwise common quarter considerably more desirable within the collecting community. Luster is another characteristic experienced collectors appreciate. When a coin leaves the press, microscopic flow lines reflect light in a distinctive rotating effect, often called the cartwheel luster. Once a coin enters circulation, this original brilliance gradually fades through everyday handling. Finding a 2001 quarter with vibrant original luster after more than 2 decades is becoming increasingly difficult, which explains why premium examples continue to attract attention. Many collectors also enjoy assembling complete sets of the 2001 state quarters in matching high grades. Building such a collection requires patience because locating 4 different designs with equally outstanding quality is far more challenging than simply finding one attractive coin. Registry set collectors often compete for the finest certified examples available, creating additional demand for top-graded specimens. It is important to remember that not every online claim about valuable quarters is accurate. Videos and social media posts sometimes suggest that every 2001 quarter is worth thousands or even millions of dollars. In reality, the overwhelming majority remain common circulation coins worth 25 cents. Genuine value usually comes from exceptional preservation, certified high grades, recognized mint errors, or documented collectible varieties. Learning to distinguish ordinary coins from truly desirable examples is one of the most rewarding parts of the hobby. If you happen to discover a 2001 quarter that appears unusual, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and significantly reduce collector value. Instead, handle the coin carefully by its edges, place it in a protective holder, and compare it with reliable reference materials. If you believe the coin displays a significant error or exceptional quality, consider having it evaluated by a reputable professional grading service for authentication. The State Quarters program changed the way many Americans viewed pocket change. Instead of seeing quarters as simple spending money, millions began paying attention to dates, mint marks, and designs. That renewed interest brought countless new collectors into the hobby, and the 2001 Washington Quarter remains an important reminder of that exciting era. Even today, searching through old jars, bankrolls, or inherited collections continues to produce surprising discoveries for dedicated collectors willing to look carefully. Perhaps the greatest lesson this coin teaches is that knowledge is often more valuable than luck. 2 people may receive the exact same quarter, but only one recognizes the small details that could make it worth preserving. Every scratch, every strike, every mint mark, and every tiny feature tells part of the coin's journey from the United States Mint into the hands of everyday Americans. So the next time a 2001 Washington Quarter lands in your change, don't rush to spend it. Hold it under a bright light, examine every detail, and appreciate the craftsmanship behind a coin that has traveled through countless hands over the years. While most examples remain ordinary, a select few possess qualities that collectors actively seek, proving that remarkable finds can still appear in unexpected places. That's the excitement that keeps collectors searching day after day. Thank you for watching, Coin Dealer. Keep checking your pocket change, stay curious, and remember that every coin deserves a closer look because the next remarkable discovery could already be waiting in your collection. Have you ever reached into your pocket, found an ordinary-looking quarter, and wondered if it could be hiding a secret worth thousands of dollars? Most people spend their change without a second thought, but every year, rare coins quietly surface from old jars, forgotten collections, and everyday circulation, surprising their owners with unexpected value. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most fascinating modern quarters ever released. At first glance, it seems like just another 25-cent coin, yet certain examples have captured the attention of collectors across the country because of their condition, unusual minting characteristics, and remarkable rarity. Before you spend another quarter, stay with me until the end, because the details you're about to discover could completely change the way you look at the coins already sitting in your home. Welcome back to Coin Dealer, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to an incredible discovery. 2006 Quarter Dollar Coin. The 2006 quarter dollar is part of the famous 50 state quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs ever introduced by the United States Mint. During 2006, 5 different state quarters were released, honoring Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Each design celebrates an important part of that state's history and identity, making these coins popular with both beginning and experienced collectors. Although hundreds of millions of these quarters were struck for circulation, not every example is created equal. While the average circulated 2006 quarter is worth only its face value of 25 cents, certain coins can be worth far more because of exceptional preservation, mint errors, or collectible quality. That is exactly why collectors continue searching through pocket change, coin rolls, and bank boxes, hoping to uncover an extraordinary example. One of the first things experienced collectors examine is the mint mark. A 2006 quarter may carry a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S if it was produced as a proof coin in San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with slight differences in production, and understanding those differences can help identify pieces that deserve a closer look. Condition is one of the biggest factors affecting value. A heavily circulated quarter with scratches, worn details, and damaged surfaces usually carries no premium. However, a coin that has remained in nearly perfect mint state condition for 2 decades can become significantly more desirable. Collectors carefully inspect the highest points of the design, looking for original mint luster, sharp details, and surfaces free from distracting marks. Even a small improvement in grade can dramatically increase collector interest. Another exciting area involves mint errors. While most 2006 quarters were produced correctly, a small number escaped the mint with manufacturing mistakes. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, struck-through errors, broad strikes, and doubled design elements are examples of mint errors that collectors actively seek. Since these mistakes occur during production and cannot be recreated after the coin leaves the mint, genuine error coins often command substantial premiums depending on the rarity and visibility of the error. Die cracks are especially interesting because they develop as minting dies wear over time. These cracks leave raised lines on the finished coin, creating unique characteristics that specialists enjoy studying. Some die chips can even produce unusual raised shapes that become popular among error coin enthusiasts. While not every die variety is extremely valuable, uncommon examples with dramatic features frequently attract serious collector attention. Proof versions of the 2006 quarters deserve special mention as well. Produced at the San Francisco Mint, these coins were struck using specially prepared dies and polished planchets to create brilliant mirrored fields with frosted design elements. Proof coins were intended for collectors rather than circulation, and examples preserved in their original government packaging remain highly collectible. Silver-proof editions, containing 90% silver, are particularly desirable because they combine collectible appeal with precious metal content. Collectors also pay close attention to certified grades issued by professional grading services. Coins receiving exceptionally high mint state grades such as MS-67, MS-68, or even higher when available become increasingly scarce. The difference between an average uncirculated coin and a superb gem can represent years of careful preservation and exceptional striking quality. As populations decrease at the highest grades, competition among advanced collectors often increases. Many fascinating discoveries begin in the most ordinary places. A forgotten coin jar inherited from a family member, an old piggy bank sitting on a shelf, or a roll of quarters obtained from a local bank can occasionally contain an unusually well-preserved example. While the odds of finding an elite specimen are low, collectors continue searching because remarkable discoveries have been made in unexpected places throughout the history of coin collecting. The artistic designs featured on the 2006 state quarters also contribute to their popularity. Each reverse tells a unique story representing its state, while the familiar portrait of George Washington continues to appear on the obverse. These historical themes encourage many collectors to complete full sets, increasing long-term interest in the series. Storage plays an important role in maintaining a coin's value. Collectors recommend handling coins only by their edges to avoid fingerprints, storing them in archival quality holders, and keeping them away from excessive humidity and harsh environmental conditions. Cleaning a coin is generally discouraged because improper cleaning can leave permanent hairline scratches and reduce collector value significantly. Even if a coin appears dull or toned, leaving its original surfaces intact is usually the wiser decision. When evaluating a potentially valuable 2006 quarter, patience is essential. Rather than relying on internet rumors or unrealistic price claims, compare your coin with authenticated examples and consider having exceptional pieces examined by a reputable professional grading service. Certified coins provide buyers with greater confidence regarding authenticity and condition. Auction results sometimes surprise collectors when exceptionally preserved modern coins appear on the market. High-grade certified examples with outstanding eye appeal can sell for considerably more than ordinary circulation pieces. However, these prices reflect extraordinary quality rather than the average coin found in daily change. Understanding this difference helps collectors make informed decisions and avoid unrealistic expectations. Coin collecting is more than searching for valuable pieces. It is also about preserving history. Every quarter represents a specific moment in American culture, technology, and craftsmanship. The 2006 quarter dollar captures a chapter of the celebrated State Quarters program, a series that introduced millions of people to the hobby and inspired a new generation of collectors. The next time you receive change after shopping, don't rush to spend every quarter without taking a closer look. Examine the date, identify the mint mark, inspect the edges, and look carefully for unusual features that might separate an ordinary coin from a collectible one. While most examples will simply be worth face value, the excitement of the search is what keeps collectors returning again and again. Whether you're just beginning your collecting journey or you've searched through thousands of coins, the 2006 quarter dollar remains an interesting modern issue with plenty to offer. From brilliant uncirculated examples to genuine mint errors and beautifully preserved proof coins, this quarter reminds us that remarkable collectibles can sometimes hide in the most ordinary places. If you enjoyed discovering the story behind this coin, you're in the right place, because Coin Dealer is dedicated to exploring the history, rarity, and collecting potential behind coins that many people overlook. Keep searching carefully, stay curious, and remember that every handful of change could hold the next exciting addition to your collection. Have you ever emptied your pocket, glanced at a quarter, and tossed it aside without a second thought. That simple habit could be costing people far more than they realize. Every single year, rare coins quietly pass from one hand to another, completely unnoticed, while knowledgeable collectors search relentlessly for the few extraordinary pieces that stand out from millions. Today, we're taking a closer look at a coin that many Americans have handled countless times without recognizing its hidden potential. Some 2015 quarters are worth only 25 cents, but certain examples with exceptional condition, striking errors, or remarkable rarity have captured the attention of serious collectors and auction houses alike. Before you spend another quarter, take a closer look, because the next one you find could tell a fascinating story, and in the right circumstances, it could be worth far more than its face value. Welcome back to Coin Dealer, where every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. 2015 Quarter Dollar Coin. The 2015 quarter dollar belongs to the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a popular series that celebrated remarkable national parks and historic sites across the United States. During 2015, 5 different designs were released, honoring Homestead National Monument of America in Nebraska, Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware, and Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. Each design reflects an important chapter of American history, making these quarters appealing not only to collectors, but also to people who appreciate art and heritage. Although hundreds of millions of these quarters entered circulation, not every example is created equal. Most remain worth only face value because they were produced in enormous numbers. However, collectors know that value often comes from details that are easy to overlook. A perfectly preserved coin with blazing original luster, razor-sharp design elements, and virtually no signs of handling can become dramatically more desirable than an ordinary circulated example. This difference is what separates everyday pocket change from coins that earn premium prices in the collector market. One of the first things experienced collectors examine is the mint mark. A small P indicates the Philadelphia Mint, while a D represents the Denver Mint. Proof versions carrying the S Mint mark were struck in San Francisco specifically for collectors. Proof coins display mirror-like fields and frosted devices, giving them a stunning appearance unlike regular circulation strikes. While proof coins are beautiful, they are generally intended for collections and usually retain value because of their superior finish rather than circulation rarity. Condition plays an enormous role in determining value. A heavily worn quarter that has spent years changing hands will rarely attract collector interest. In contrast, an uncirculated coin that has never entered everyday commerce may retain its original mint brilliance. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using the Sheldon grading scale, where even a single-point difference among mint state grades can significantly influence value. Coins graded at the very highest levels, especially those certified as MS-67, MS-68, or higher when available, can command impressive premiums because so few survive in such exceptional condition. Beyond condition, mint errors create another exciting area of collecting. During the minting process, mistakes occasionally occur despite strict quality control. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, broad strikes, and other production errors can transform an otherwise common quarter into an unusual collectible. These errors are genuine, mint-made mistakes, making them highly desirable to collectors searching for something different. The more dramatic and well-preserved the error, the greater the interest it often receives. Collectors also pay close attention to strike quality. Some coins display extraordinary detail, with every leaf, line, and feature sharply defined. Others may appear slightly weak because the dies were wearing out during production. Strongly struck examples with vibrant original surfaces frequently become favorites among specialists assembling high-grade registry collections. These collectors compete for the finest certified examples available, sometimes pushing prices well beyond what casual collectors might expect. The artistic variety found within the 2015 series also contributes to its popularity. The homestead design symbolizes agriculture and family life with a historic farmhouse and water pump. Kisatchie celebrates the beauty of longleaf pine forests and native wildlife. Blue Ridge Parkway captures one of America's most scenic roadways, winding through majestic mountains. Bombay Hook highlights a graceful great blue heron standing among wetland vegetation, while Saratoga commemorates a turning point in the American Revolutionary War. Together, these designs tell a uniquely American story through everyday coinage. Market demand continues to evolve as new collectors enter the hobby. Modern coins have become increasingly popular because they are affordable to collect, easy to find, and often introduce beginners to numismatics. At the same time, elite collectors constantly search for flawless certified examples to improve their competitive registry sets. This combination of widespread availability and selective rarity creates an interesting marketplace where ordinary coins remain common, while extraordinary specimens become surprisingly scarce. If you discover a 2015 quarter that appears unusual, resist the temptation to clean or polish it. Cleaning almost always reduces a coin's collector value because it alters the original surface. Even gentle polishing can leave microscopic scratches that trained graders immediately recognize. Instead, hold the coin carefully by its edges and place it in a protective holder to preserve its condition.